Let's go to the Middle East now and the important shipping route through the Red Sea, where the threat of attacks is disrupting global trade. The shipping giants Hapag-Lloyd and Maersk have today extended their decision to avoid the area. This after a Maersk vessel was attacked over the weekend. Iran-backed Houthi rebels hit the ship with a missile and tried to climb aboard before the US Navy intervened and sank the rebels' 4 boats, killing the crew in the process. Well, Iran has responded by sending a warship to the area, raising the risk of military escalation. The US military says there have now been at least 23 attacks since mid-November on a route that accounts for around 12% of global trade. Well, our business reporter Jonathan Josephs joins me now with more on this. And Jonathan, just bring us up to date on the significance of these latest developments.
This is a fast-moving story. We've heard from some of the world's biggest shipping lines today. As you say, this is an important route for global trade through the Red Sea, through the Suez Canal, cutting shipping times from Asia to Europe pretty significantly. It accounts for about 12% of global trade. We've heard from Denmark's Maersk, which is the number 2 player in the industry, saying that they will pause all transit through that route until further notice, because as you might remember, it was one of their ships that was attacked at the weekend, the latest such attack, the Maersk Hangzhou, that was targeted by a Houthi missile and then a crew that tried to board it. We've also heard from Germany's Hapag-Lloyd saying that they will pause all sailings through the route for at least another week and that they will then review the situation. That's a similar tone that we're hearing from Maersk, that they will also review the situation as time goes on, because there are a lot of moving pieces here. We've also heard from the French shipping company CMA-CGM, which has said it's increasing the prices for some of its journeys from Asia to Europe to reflect the higher costs that all shipping lines are now facing. For instance, a typical 40-foot container will now cost $6,000 rather than $3,000 to send from Asia to parts of the Mediterranean. All of this reflects the higher costs that this is all causing for shipping lines in terms of more insurance. Diverting around the southern tip of Africa means higher fuel bills, and ultimately it's likely that all of that will be passed on to consumers if it is a significant disruption, which depends on how long this all lasts.
Sure, and briefly, Jonathan, if you can, even if we manage to neutralise the threat in the near term, could there be long-term effects from this situation to global shipping and trade?
Well, it really depends on what happens with this military coalition led by the US that is in the area, the warships trying to provide security guarantees or assurances to the shipping lines. It doesn't seem to have worked completely so far, although it has been welcomed by sources in the shipping industry that I've been speaking to today. But the evidence is clear, with the likes of Maersk, Hapag-Lloyd and MSC, the world's biggest shipping line, saying they're all avoiding it for now. We've also know that the politics of this is all carrying on. We've heard not long ago that the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has been speaking to David Cameron, the UK Foreign Secretary. They said that these were illegal and unjustified attacks, and that they made it clear that they will continue to tackle the Houthis and hold them accountable for these unlawful seizures and attacks. So depending on the success of that and how reassured the shipping lines feel, we will then find out the consequences of how long this will last and just what impact it will have in terms of supply chains and how it affects consumers.
Jonathan Josephs in our business newsroom, thank you for that update.